So in this lecture, I want to talk about how do you know how much to bet on a trade. Now, here's a very professional trick. Okay, let's look at that chart again, the breakout chart. How do you know how much to place on any given trade? Well, this is the answer. Okay, you ensure your reward target, first of all, is greater than your risk. So that means that 4 minus 2 has got to be greater than 2 minus 3. In other words, reward has to be greater than risk. Now, that's easy, yeah? You got that from earlier. Reward has to be more than risk. Okay, that's simple. Now, this is how you work out trade size. Trade size should be such that the amount you could lose, yeah, is less than 2% of your total portfolio value. If your total portfolio value is, say, $10,000, then you shouldn't be losing more than $200 on any one trade. Okay, in other words, that loss between 2 to 3 should only be $200 if that loss were to occur. Why? Well, I've explained before that losses mount up very quickly. We don't ever want on one trade to have lost a significant amount of our portfolio ever. That's the reason why we make sure that the total portfolio value is never depreciated by more than 2% on any one loss. Got it? So its trade size should be such that the amount you could lose is less than 2% of total portfolio value, and that's how you work out how much you should trade on any one trade, and that's how the professionals do it. Let's just look at that again in terms of reward, risk, and so on. Here we're looking at, it just happens we're looking at US 30, the Dow. 1 minute bar charts, again, can be currencies, just happen to find a nice pattern, so took this one instead. And you can see what I was looking for with something like this is we look at the stop loss, the initial trailing, we look at the projected reward, and we say to ourselves, okay, the projected reward from a breakout like this, and by the way, when a breakout occurs from a range, then the reward tends to be as much above the breakout as the security traded beneath it. So you can see this range was this level. It's trading, and that's our reward projected upwards because it's a long trade. So I've just projected it upwards. So that's our upward projection, because when there's a breakout from a range, it often happens, like I said, that you move upwards as much as you traded within the range. Okay, so that's the upward projection. The stop loss, initial stop loss and trailing can be set at the entry. You can see where the resistance line is. So that's the breakout point, of course. When we go through resistance, we just clear all the images from the ink that I've drawn. Okay, so then we've made the entry. Breakout long trade, that's the entry. There we go. I've done it there. I've marked it with the red arrow. The stop loss is beneath the resistance line. Okay, and then it can be a trailing stop thereafter. So it's just beneath. You can see why it's there. So you see the reward. Okay, you see the stop loss. The reward is greater than the stop loss from entry because we measured it. We made sure that is smaller than that. Now, I know it looks really messy when we're doing it, but as you practice these, bang, 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 they will all easily be something you can see very quickly on these. You'll say, right, I can see I'm projecting upwards. This level, that's my reward. My risk should be just the other side of the resistance from which it's broken out. So my reward is greater than my risk. If I can risk losing this much, then that should be 2% of my total portfolio value. So that tells me my trade size. And I'm going to have initial stop loss there, and I'm going to trail it upwards. Maybe a 2-period low or a 3-period low will be the trailing. Don't forget, we're going to see a lot more of these examples as we go forward, not just in this lecture, but future ones. So you'll get used to it. And that's it. Bang, breakout. And it could be a 1-minute chart, as you can see here, or it could be a 1-day chart. and you place the trade, and that's it. It's that simple, but you will start seeing more of these as you do them. So look at this chart, focus on it, and you'll see a template, which is what this is, of how we're going to show more of these kinds of trades and do these kinds of